So my name is April Patillo, and to acknowledge the place and context, I just want to put out there that I recognize that acknowledgement alone is a small gesture that only becomes meaningful when actively coupled with authentic relationships and informed action. So it's my wish that this acknowledgement encourages all of us towards action, however big or small that may be. And in saying this, it's my wish that any of my unintentional mispronunciations of any community's names serve as a witnessing of the continuing impacts of colonization and the genocidal processes of forgetting. I'm a visitor to the traditional territories of Native peoples in what's now called Flagstaff, which includes or touches on Dene, Havasupai, Hoko'odem, O'odem, Hopi Tuvsqua, Hualapai, Pueblos, and Shawina territories. These ancestral homelands are also the current home of a diverse, vibrant group of these Native peoples' descendants, as well as descendants from the Caribbean and Africa, Europe, Canada, and other places that I can't currently name. So, completing the sentence, I listen with presence, deep desire, and a sensory consciousness, which feels ironic because I love words. I love their flow. I love how they sound together. When we use them in a particular way, I love their precision. They move me. A well-formed sentence in a pop song can stick in my head for months. I love words. I have a sister who's deaf. Sorry. The story brings up emotion. One of my fondest memories of living with her, and she was a blast to have as a younger sister, centers around the secret world we created without words. We would spend hours watching TV in our bedroom that we shared. And we could do it because we would watch TV with the sound off. She didn't need the sound. She's deaf. My parents relied on sound to figure out if we were asleep or not. So we would communicate lip reading and using sign and gestures because she was learning ASL. And I, as an 8-year-old, was learning ASL. We created entire worlds. We created a language that we called Plutonian. We still use it to this day. My sister is the first person who could ever understand me without ever uttering a word. And because of that, she understands my words. And I understood that words are not all, they don't encompass all of the language that we use. And it can be big movements, it can be the proximity or the closeness that we have, it can be the facial expressions, it can be the intake or the dispelling of air. It can be tears, It can be the angle with which we sit. But all of these, for me, are about that desire for a deeper context, a deeper understanding that requires a language that operates on multiple platforms. Thanks.
I am loving this. Wow. I'm just so touched by everyone's share. So I'm in, oh, I'm sorry, I'll turn that off. I'm in Thorpe Ness in Suffolk, England, which, let me see, has been colonized by, in my memory, by the Romans, by the Angles, which was a German tribe, by the Saxons, which was a German tribe, by the Danes. We had a Danish king in 900, by the Vikings, and then by the Normans. And the Normans were the last ones. And before the Romans came, I learned yesterday, there was a tribe who had Boudicca was like around here fighting off the Romans. I didn't realize she was a local lass. So I'm in Boudica country. I listen with my whole being. Listening is so precious to me. It's so sacred, because it's the source of music. And the moment when listening really changed my life, I was in India in 2009, and I had just submitted my PhD application and my GRE exam, which I'd done in Mumbai, really quickly studying maths because I wanted to redesign capitalism. And I'd like worked so hard. I was studying yoga for a month at the Iyengar Yoga Institute. And I submitted everything, slept for 24 hours, woke up and went to the concert at the 30th birthday of the Iyengar Yoga Institute. And it was a violin player called Atul Kumar Padhai, and he started to play violin. And within moments, tears were running down my cheeks. I missed a bit. I sat down, rewind. I sat down. I was like, okay, that's it. I've done everything I can do. I've, got all my ducks in a row. I've got my plan. I've got my da 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 da. And I went quiet, and this little voice inside said, yes, but what of the great eastern sun? And I was like, huh? And then the music started to play, and tears rolled down my cheeks. And before long, I had dissolved, like I had dissolved in God's heart, like I had dissolved in love, like I dissolved in bliss, like I was beyond my own borders. I had grown up as a girl in a white dominant culture, classical music, family, school culture, improvising. And I was given piano lessons, and then they were taken away because I was only improvising and composing, and I was ignoring the dots, and I wouldn't sing what I was told. I would sing what was happening. And I had a chronic sense of alienation, and I couldn't find my way in life. I started a music degree. I left with like a mental breakdown. I couldn't find my way. I ended up studying political science and becoming a campaigner, and that lasted about a decade until this moment in India where I saw someone else improvise for the first time in my life. And it transported me to a different state of consciousness, or something. It's such limiting words for how it feels. And he became my teacher, and my old life just dissolved around me. And I traveled to France, and I traveled to the US, and I found other improvisers, and I became a teacher of improvising, and I released albums improvising, and I'm an improviser. And when we improvise, we always start in silence, and the listening to the moment and what's here right now, what's the music of this moment, this me, this you, this field, this earth, this spirit, this web of life. It's like a council of all of life, and whichever bit has a song for right now can like have the mic. And like, why would a culture shut that off and not allow any space for that? And so I guess what my work in the world is about is reopening the spaces for that. And I haven't had a little heart. That means it's my time. So I think I'm going to improvise the rest of my time. Oh, there's the heart. Okay, it's going to be a tiny improvisation. Oh, what little candlelight starts the unfolding of a dream. But if you stay in love with it day by day, it can unfold into a very big thing. Thank you, everyone.
My name is Mario Fernandez. I belong to the land of Costa Rica, the blessed land where the deserts of the north of America touch to the rainforests of South America. It's a really, really nice place here, Costa Rica. And well, yeah, I think that uh, being here has given me a lot of chances to listen with a lot of parts of my of me, like human being. But well, basically, the most I like to use to listen is my intuition for any kind of situations of my life. But basically, well, the first time that listening profoundly changed my life and gives me a basic analogy that I can transform and apply to a lot of situations of my life. Was when I was like maybe 7 years old. Thanks to my mom, she put me in a music academy where I learned to play piano. So there I was, with my first piano concert, and I was playing with like three more um, students that were like really close friends to mine, and we were like very anxious about our first concert. We were, like kids, four kids in a stage. Was like a lot of anxious, and I was like focused on. I have to know my like my partiture, my lane of the song that we're going to play together perfectly, and I study and I focus on my own part of the whole show. And when the days come, I was like, okay, I'm prepared, and we going to have a huge show, and everyone gonna love us because we're gonna be, like the kids, and etc. etc. When we get to the stage and I begin to play, there was a totally mess because I was like playing in a tempo, and my other two friends were like going slow, and we have to stop and then repeat it again. And I feel so frustrated. I was like, okay, this is my first time, and I was like, kind of like, yeah, I'm doing my best, but I don't feel that I was, like really, like at the end of the story, the show doesn't goes like I was thinking and I was preparing to. The next week that we got after the show, like piano classes at the academy again. Our teacher, Wendy B, a Chinese girl that was like my mentor for like maybe 10 years, she gave us a good like lesson, not for the for the next show, for the live, I guess. And she said like, "Hey guys, how do you feel at the concert, at the stage?" And I was like, "Teacher, I study a lot. I prepare my show, and I think that we're gonna have a successful like son in front of all our families." And she said like, "Yes, I know you study a lot, but you don't listen. You don't listen to your partners. And when you're gonna play in a band with two, four, or five musicians, you have to listen the other, not just hear the music. You have to listen who is around you, and you have to complement. You are not the best like music player in a band is not the one who leads like with the best solo, with the best sound, is the one who can complement the other parts of the band. And I was like really, I was very young and I don't get it. I don't realize like the huge amount of wisdom she was given to me in that moment. But later, when I get older and older, and 30 years later in this moment has been, like a lesson that I always have in my mind. Like, listen, listen who is around you. Listen to your family, to your friends, to your couple, to your work partners, because the success you can have through your life is not about how you do your job the best you can, is how you can listen, not hear, because anyone can hear, is listen who is next to you, who is joined with you in your life journey, and how can you complement to get through any kind of situation, um, music talent show, project, um, any kind of situation. I think that that's the most important thing. And right there in that moment, when I was a kid, maybe I realized how precious was this kind of wisdom that uh, listening to your ecosystem, yeah, the people that are around you in the different part of the day, because maybe at morning will be your family, then midday will be your work partners, then at night could be your friends. We are changing our people around, and we are changing our people in our entire life. And if we can listen to them to integrate to our journey, definitely we can have a successful life actions, we can have a successful job, adventure, anything. So yeah, I always use this analogy from my childhood when I like get this like really interesting experience that anyone can use, for our life. um yeah, basically that's it. And I want to thank all of the storytellers because it has been amazing. One of those story of you and Lanelle, well, next to you, I will obviously will enjoy your story. For me, it's very difficult to be focused on just one thing. I'm like, like I'm always, like thinking about the things, but being sitting here listening you guys for an hour has been really interesting, and I'm so honored to be here. And thank you, all of you, April, Kimberly, Didi, Brian, Mosen. You guys really are amazing, and thank you. A lot of blessings for you guys.